After almost 2 years of living in Norway, we finally decided to take our first vacations in Norway. And it turns out we've been living in one of the most beautiful countries in the whole planet without realizing it. I'm Carlos, and this is what happens when Portuguese people discover they are surrounded by fjords. We've been living in Norway for almost 2 years now, and I just realized we've been doing this completely wrong. We've been so busy trying to survive the Norwegian life, figuring out the system, paying bills, getting to work, that we forgot to actually live in Norway. So this year we finally decided to take our first vacations in our new country, and it turns out we've been living in one of the most beautiful places on earth. So this is what we found out when we finally stopped working and started exploring. So here's the embarrassing part. We've been so focused in trying to survive the Norwegian life, paying the bills, learning the system, get to work, get home, that we forgot why we moved here. We became locals without seeing what makes this place so special. And let me tell you, Norway has a way to make you feel small. Whether you're in the middle of a fjord or walking to the top of a mountain, this country has a way to show us how small we really are. Here's how we planned our 3-week Norwegian vacation. We didn't. We packed food and clothes for 1 week and said, let's go to the Atlantic road.
Tell them about our booking strategy.
We had no booking strategy. No bookings, no reservations, no itinerary. Just let's go there and see what happens.
Like nomads with a Tesla.
Yeah, but we also needed to be flexible about where we could actually go. Andrea is dealing with a work injury and she's still recovering from it. So not every hiking trail or every destination was going to work for us.
More on that situation later, but it definitely shaped how we approached this vacation.
Every 4 to 5 days we'd come home to do laundry, repack, rest for 1 day or 2 and get ready for the next adventure. Always choosing places as we went based on what felt right. First adventure, the Atlantic Road. If you've never seen it, imagine driving on a road that's basically a bridge connecting small islands with the ocean stretching endlessly on both sides. Every few kilometers we stopped because the view was completely different. We took probably around 200 photos only on the Atlantic Road. From the Atlantic Road we just drove to our next destination, Geiranger. And we had no specific route, no time pressure, just let's see what's between here and there. And let me tell you, the drive to Geiranger is almost more beautiful than Geiranger. Almost. But when you finally see Geiranger Fjord, it's almost like every postcard of Norway came to life at once. What made this vacation so special was all the places that we discovered because we didn't have any plan. And what almost ruined this vacation was exactly the same. On week 2, we decided to visit a beautiful place that we put on the map. And like always, we thought, we'll find a place to sleep when we get there. And that's when we learned that apparently Norwegians also like to take vacations in Norway.
Everything was full. Everything.
We drove 1 hour and a half just to try and find a place where to sleep.
Tell them where we ended up.
A ski hotel on top of a mountain in the middle of the summer. After 3 weeks of spontaneous nature adventure, we decided to end up with Oslo. Not because we planned it, but because we ran out of nature to explore. Temporarily.
They got obsessed with photography.
By Oslo, I was documenting everything, compulsively. 3 weeks of the most beautiful nature on earth, and I wasn't going to miss anything.
He took 47 photos of the opera house alone. 47!
Oslo, after 3 weeks of wilderness, felt like returning to civilization. But the kind of civilization that actually works. Here's what this vacation taught us about our life in Norway. We've been living in survival mode for almost 2 years. Pay bills, go to work, figure out the system. We completely forgot that we moved to one of the most beautiful countries on earth.
We were so focused on becoming Norwegian that we forgot to enjoy Norway.
But then we started noticing something. Every weekend, our Norwegian colleagues just disappeared. To their cabin in the woods, to hiking trails, to fjords. They don't talk about it like it's something special. They just do it. Norwegians have this habit of just going away. A cabin by a lake, a hike up a mountain, anywhere they can lose themselves in the calmness of nature. And we finally understood why.
We were trying so hard to integrate, learning the language, understanding the bureaucracy, fitting into Norwegian society.
But we were missing the most important part of being Norwegian, the life and work balance and this deep love of losing yourself in nature. We were focused on surviving in Norway, instead of living like Norwegians. This trip reminded us why we made this move in the first place. It wasn't just for better systems or work-life balance. It was for this life, this access to nature, this quality of existence. Norwegian people vacation in Norway every weekend, and now we understand why. But here's the most Norwegian thing about our vacations. Our colleagues weren't surprised we took vacations. They were surprised it took us this long to take vacations. And honestly, 3 weeks felt like a lot. I was afraid we were going to run out of places to visit and things to do. But by week 2, I was already planning our next vacations. We kept saying we should go back to that fjord or we didn't spend enough time on that place. Now we understand why Norwegians take long vacations. And let me tell you, 3 weeks? Not enough. We barely scratched the surface of this country. In Portugal, taking vacations feels like apologizing. In Norway, if you don't take vacations, it's just poor planning. That's when we realized that we've been living like Portuguese people in the Norwegian system. The system was designed for us to have this life. We just weren't using it. But the real star of this vacation was Mike, discovering he's actually a Norwegian dog. He went from Portuguese apartment dog to Norwegian adventure dog overnight. We are still both catching up. Watching Mike embrace nature reminded us that integration isn't just about paperwork and systems. It's about embracing the lifestyle that drew you here in the first place. So why am I showing you our vacation instead of continuing with our immigration story? Well, because this is the point of the journey. We spent months preparing the move, days driving here and weeks learning the system. But until this point, we haven't lived the life that we moved here for. If you're thinking about a big life change like moving countries, changing careers, whatever, just remember that surviving that move is not the point. Living the life you wanted is the goal, and sometimes you need to stop and remember why you started. Next week we go back to the beginning. How did two Portuguese people and a dog, without any type of connections, no plan, no idea what they were doing, managed to build this type of life in Norway? From getting flipped off in a snowstorm to hiking Norwegian mountains. The integration story that you need to hear. If this convinced you that Norway might be worth your time, or if you just want to see how we go from complete outsiders to slightly less outsiders, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for following along with our Norwegian adventure, and see you next time when we dive into the real story of how we made this life work.